Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that affects every single one of us, every single day, but most of us never think about it until it's too late. I'm talking about America's energy infrastructure. The massive, sprawling, and surprisingly fragile network that powers our lives. From the moment you wake up and your alarm goes off, to the light you switch on, the coffee you brew, and the phone you're probably watching this on right now, it all depends on a system that is older than you might think. And honestly, the truth about its current state is pretty shocking. So, what exactly are we talking about when we say energy infrastructure? It's not just the big power plants you might see on the horizon. It's a colossal web of power generation facilities, hundreds of thousands of miles of high-voltage transmission lines, millions of miles of local distribution wires, and countless substations and transformers. Think of it like the country's circulatory system. The power plants are the heart, pumping electricity through the major arteries, the transmission lines, which then branch out into smaller veins and capillaries, the distribution lines, to deliver life-giving energy to every home, business, and hospital. For decades, this system has been a marvel of engineering, a silent giant working 24/7. But here's the catch, a lot of this giant is old. Really old. A huge portion of our grid was built right after World War II. We're talking about transformers and power lines that have been in continuous service for 50, 60, or even 70 years. The American Society of Civil Engineers regularly gives our energy infrastructure a grade, and spoiler alert, it's not an A, more like a C-. That's barely passing. These components were designed for a different era, an era with less demand, a different climate, and fewer technological complexities. They've served us well, but they are reaching the end of their expected lifespan. Like an old car, the more miles you put on it, the more likely it is to break down. And when it comes to our power grid, a breakdown can be catastrophic. And we're already seeing the cracks appear. Think about the massive blackouts we've witnessed in recent years. The 2021 Texas power crisis, where a severe winter storm knocked out power for millions in freezing temperatures. Or the rolling blackouts in California during extreme heat waves when the grid just couldn't handle the surge in demand from everyone cranking up their air conditioners. These aren't just inconvenient, they're dangerous. They disrupt businesses, costing the economy billions. They threaten public safety, shutting down critical services like hospitals and water treatment plants. These events are becoming more frequent and more severe, and it's a direct symptom of an aging, overstressed system. So, what's putting so much stress on the grid? It's a perfect storm of factors. First, as I mentioned, is age. Metal rusts, concrete cracks, and insulation degrades. It's just a fact of life. Second, our energy demand has skyrocketed and changed. We have more gadgets, more data centers, and now a growing fleet of electric vehicles that all need to be charged. Our modern lifestyle is incredibly power-hungry, and we're asking a 20th century grid to support 21st century demands. It's like trying to run the latest video game on a computer from the 90s. It's just not going to work well. The third major factor, and it's a big one, is climate change. Our weather is becoming more extreme and unpredictable. We're seeing more intense hurricanes, more widespread wildfires, more severe heat waves, and colder polar vortexes. Each of these events puts immense physical stress on our infrastructure. High winds topple power lines. Wildfires can destroy entire sections of the grid. Ice storms can weigh down wires until they snap. And extreme heat causes lines to sag and transformers to overheat and fail. The grid was built for the climate of the past, not the volatile climate of today and tomorrow. It simply wasn't designed to withstand this new level of punishment. On top of all that, there's another threat, one that's invisible but just as dangerous: cybersecurity. As our grid becomes smarter and more digitized to improve efficiency, it also becomes more vulnerable to cyber attacks. We're connecting critical control systems to the internet, creating new entry points for malicious actors, whether they're rogue hackers or state-sponsored groups. A successful cyber attack on the power grid could be devastating, potentially causing blackouts across multiple states that could last for weeks or even months. It's no longer the stuff of science fiction. It's a very real threat that security experts are working around the clock to prevent. So, we have an old, fragile system facing record demand, extreme weather, and new digital threats. It sounds pretty bleak, right? Well, it is a serious challenge, but it's also a massive opportunity. This is where the story starts to get exciting. We are on the cusp of the largest energy transition in human history. The urgent need to modernize our grid is forcing us to innovate and build something better, smarter, and more resilient. So, what does the grid of the future look like? For starters, it's about upgrading the old hardware. This means replacing aging transformers, strengthening power poles, and using advanced, higher-capacity transmission lines that can carry more power with less energy loss. Some new lines are even designed to be more resilient to extreme weather. It's a huge undertaking, a bit like replacing all the pipes in an old house while people are still living in it. It's complex and expensive, but absolutely necessary. But it's not just about replacing old with new, it's about making the grid smarter. A smart grid uses digital technology, sensors, and two-way communication to monitor the flow of electricity in real time. This allows utility companies to detect and isolate problems instantly, often before a customer even notices their power is out. It can reroute power around damaged areas, minimizing the size and duration of an outage. It also helps manage energy demand more efficiently, reducing stress on the system during peak hours. And then there's the biggest shift of all, the move to renewable energy. Solar panels and wind turbines are becoming a bigger and bigger part of our energy mix, but this presents a new challenge. Unlike traditional power plants that can generate power on demand, solar and wind are intermittent. The sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow. To make a renewable-powered grid reliable, we need a solution for energy storage. And that solution is coming in the form of massive battery installations. These giant batteries can store excess energy when the sun is shining or the wind is blowing, and then release it back into the grid when it's needed most. This technology is a total game changer, making a clean energy future possible. Another exciting concept is the rise of microgrids and distributed energy. Instead of relying solely on a few huge, centralized power plants, we're seeing a shift towards smaller, local power sources. Think of a neighborhood with rooftop solar on every house, community battery storage, and maybe a small local generator. This collection of resources can operate as a microgrid. Most of the time, it's connected to the main grid, but if a major outage occurs, say, from a hurricane, the microgrid can disconnect and operate independently, keeping the lights on for that local community. This makes the entire system more resilient because a single point of failure no longer takes down everyone. Now, building this new energy infrastructure is one of the greatest challenges of our generation. The price tag is staggering, estimated to be in the trillions of dollars over the next couple of decades. It requires a massive coordination effort between the government, private utility companies, tech innovators, and the public. We'll need new policies, streamlined regulations to speed up permitting for new projects, and a huge investment in training the workforce of engineers, technicians, and line workers who will build and maintain this future grid. So, what can you do? First, just being aware of this issue is a huge step. Understanding the fragility of our current system helps build public support for the massive investments needed. On a personal level, energy efficiency is key. Every kilowatt-hour of electricity you save is one less kilowatt-hour the grid has to produce and deliver. Simple things like using LED bulbs, upgrading to energy-efficient appliances, and being mindful of your thermostat settings really do add up when millions of people do them. And for those who can, exploring options like rooftop solar or home battery storage not only gives you more energy independence, but also contributes to a more resilient, distributed grid. The state of America's energy infrastructure is a shocking reality check. It's a story of aging technology pushed to its limits. But it's also a story of incredible opportunity. We have the chance to rebuild our energy system from the ground up, making it cleaner, smarter, and stronger than ever before. It's a monumental task, but it's essential for our economy, our security, and our future on this planet. It is time to stop taking our power for granted and start building the energy system of tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. What do you think is the biggest challenge or opportunity in modernizing our grid? Let me know down in the comments. And if you found this video informative, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the systems that shape our world. See you in the next one.